Welcome to Breakthrough. Today we are talking about made to influence. You and I were made to influence our environment and this world. This is Breakthrough tips, tools, and insights for life. I'm your host, Sharon Joseph from SAJ Consulting Services, and I'm so excited to be with you. We are going to have an amazing time this evening, but it's going to be a really short broadcast. So I hope you stay tuned, and I hope you've got a pen and paper because you may want to take some notes. We where I help people basically on this program Breakthrough to live and lead with passion and purpose. Actually, I do it both on this program and in my business. That's who I am. That's what I was made to do. Help people live and lead with passion for their purpose through coaching, assessments, and helping them build their communication and leadership skills. Basically, helping them find their purpose and live purposefully. I also help businesses grow through consulting, training, assessments, and giving them some strategic directions. So, if you need to reach me either for an assessment or for business purposes, please feel free to do so. You can reach me on my website, SharonAJoseph.com, and that would lead you to SAJ Consulting Services. Again, my website, SharonAJoseph.com. Pretty easy, right? Okay, so we've been talking about the fact that we are all made to influence, to dominate the world in some specific area. That's why we were created. Everything that was made with and for a purpose. I want us to remember that because that's the essence of who we are and what we do. Many things in this world were literally or deliberately made incomplete, or they were made incomplete or are waiting to be created or refined by you and I. Can you believe that? If you don't, I encourage you to read your owner's manual, Romans 8, the 8th chapter, and it will tell you more about that. Now, when we identify that one thing, the purpose in which we were created for, or the things that we were created to do, is either to purpose to do or be, right? So when once we identify that all and we begin to refine those things that we are naturally good at, if I mean, one thing people don't get sometimes is the fact that you don't have to go and find something difficult to be your purpose. As a matter of fact, your purpose is not to be found, it's to be discovered because it's in you. You don't need to go outside anywhere to find it. So I am encouraging you to look within you as you determine how can I influence this world. Look within you to find those things that you're naturally good at, then refine them, and once you have refined them, you'll do well with them. You'll gain influence. You'll become renowned and famous. You'll have prestige, and influence will naturally bring affluence or money or wealth. So be mindful of that. Identifying those things that we are good at can really be a challenge sometimes. So today I'll share 7 areas of influence, 7 to 9 areas actually, because most people think that they are just 7 areas, but can I tell you, I think that they are more. So I'll share those things with you shortly. But if you're now joining me, this is Breakthrough, where I bring you tips, tools, and insights for life. I am here to help you become an influence to impact your world. And I don't want you to miss the rest of today's broadcast because it's going to be really short, and I think you wouldn't want to miss it. But if this is your first time joining me, would you please give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts, some love, and I want to say thank you for joining me. Please feel free to post comments about this program and share your insights with me. That's how we learn and grow. So, I want to also remind you that if you have a story that you'd like me to share here on Breakthrough, I encourage you to send me an email to breakthroughtti@gmail.com. That stands for Breakthrough Tips, Tools, and Insights. Again, the email address is breakthrough TTI at gmail.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. By doing so, you'll be able to, one, be notified about all of the broadcasts that are coming or that come out. And I hope you learn so much because my objective is to help you find your purpose, refine your purpose, and live purposefully in your purpose. So I hope you get that. I am not only a business coach and consultant, but I'm also a life and career coach. So if you're challenged in one of those areas, I encourage you to give me a call. Let's talk and see how I can help you or direct you or help you be promoted or whatever your objectives are. Let's work together and try and make that happen for you. The business email address is sajconsultingservices at gmail.com. That's sajconsultingservices at gmail.com. Don't forget the website is sharonajoseph.com. And you can call me at 440. Yes, this is my direct line, 440 497 0172. 440 497 0172. And I hope to hear from you soon. Some really exciting news about this week. This week, I was interviewed on a program called People Who Inspire. I was interviewed, or it was recorded this week, but it will be broadcast on the 26th of this month. So I really hope that you stay tuned and I'll post information once I get the details. It's going to be broadcast on Armstrong Cable on channels 100 or 20 in the Pennsylvania area. I'm not sure where you're looking from, but hey, go on to armstrong.com and you may see it streaming. And it's also on YouTube, so look forward to that. I want to remind you that we are all made to influence. And the capacity, and what you may then ask, what is the meaning of influence, Sharon? Well, it's the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, behavior, or um, the behavior of someone or something, or to be the effect itself. So you basically could be an influence. You are an influence even right now. And I just want to remind you to live and look forward to walking confidently in your area of influence. You know, there are some reasons why we don't influence our world. And one of them, or the three of them, I think, are one, we don't influence our world because we don't know that we have something in us that can truly bring influence to us and others. And that solution, I must say, the answer to that question is basically in your mind. But we'll talk some more about that shortly. Sometimes our influence stays buried because of selfishness, because we feel, well, I don't want to give them or do this for them, not realizing that in doing something, doing what you're good at for someone else freely, you're basically refining that skill and making it more marketable. So sometimes because of selfishness, not realizing that we need to do and refine our skills to become wealthy and influential. And we must also invest in ourselves. When we refine our skills, we invest in ourselves to make ourselves better. And that's really important because in doing so, you're building up or you're refining or honing your influence for the future. And the third reason I believe why we don't influence our world is because we don't believe in ourselves and whose we are. In order to be influential, you've got to understand your purpose for creation. And if you don't understand why you were created, it's difficult to truly operate fully in that area of giftedness. So we don't understand whose we are or why we were created, and we don't know our identity. And I might as well do this right now. This is an apple, and these are apple seeds that I have been saving since I began the program last year. Now, until these seeds are planted, an apple will never grow. So the seeds in you, the gifts in you, must be planted, meaning given, meaning work on yourself and give it to others in order to refine your skills, to build up your skills, to grow your skills. These seeds will not be beneficial until they're planted and grow into apple trees. The funny thing about the apple tree is that when the apple falls from the tree, it cannot eat itself. It must be given to someone else, you and I, to enjoy this apple. The funny thing about this apple, too, is the fact that although we can count the number of seeds in an apple, the number of seeds I have here must be from 50 or more apples. This one apple may carry just about 8 or 9 seeds because of the size of it. Now, this is a real apple, it could be eaten. And this is a false apple. This is just for decorative purposes. It may look the same, but you certainly can't eat a false apple, but you could eat this one. So too with who we are as individuals. Once we refine our skills, they become edible or usable. So I'm encouraging you to refine the skills within you. However, the going back to the example of an apple, if you don't know, if these seeds doesn't know what type of tree they are supposed to bear, they may be just wandering and just hanging around doing nothing. But you've got it within you. You've got to know what seed you are, what gifts you carry in you in order to bring them out and refine them. That's really, really important. And in order to know your abilities or know what you're good at, you must know what you were created for. These apple seeds were created to be apples. So that's all they'd ever become, apples. What were you created for? In order to know that, you've got to go back to your owner's manual. Now, there are 9 pillars. They normally, it's been said that there are 7 mountains or 7 pillars and or spheres of influence. I believe that there are 9, and yes, and they are: one, in religion; two, family; three, education; four, government; media and arts; medical; business; technology; and space exploration. I'm not sure why, when the 7 areas or mountains of influence were created, I'm not sure if they were thinking about exploration, because I wouldn't put space exploration just in under education or government. So I believe that these are the different spheres of influence in which you have the ability to impact your world with. So be mindful of that. And above all, you were created to solve a problem. Every one of those areas of influence are established to solve a specific problem. So I'm encouraging you to think about what you're good at. And then based on that, there's something that's in you naturally. Naturally. This is really important because sometimes we believe that we've got to be going overseas to do missionary work in order to accomplish our purpose. That's not true. Your purpose is in your DNA. You just need to refine it. And yeah, once you refine it, you'll be able to solve the problems of the 9 areas of influence I just mentioned. This is breakthrough. Breakthrough is about living and leading with passion and purpose. It's about knowing or understanding that we are created with a purpose to influence and impact this world. And in this session, we're talking about you influencing the world because you were made to influence. Breakthrough is about helping you recognize that your mind is indeed your most valuable asset, and that your investment in yourself is our greatest investment. Breakthrough is all about deliberately influencing people and impacting our world with a spirit of excellence. It's not just a one and done thing. So as you move forward, just remember that you were made to influence this world. And if you fail the first time, that's okay, because breakthrough comes when you fail and fail forward. Okay, so the first one we spoke about was the fact that you were made to influence something, some area of life. The second one is that sometimes our influence stays buried because of selfishness. I mentioned it before, not realizing that to become wealthy or influential, we must invest in ourselves and do something for others. The solution: think about the apple seed I just mentioned, right? An apple cannot eat itself. We were made, and so too with us, like the apple, it was made for others to enjoy. So whatever your special gift is, know that it was created, it was deposited in you so that you can give it out to the world. You can influence the world based on what was deposited in you. So here's what you need to know about your influence staying buried. Influence is tied to your purpose or your area of giftedness or talent. So when you think about, well, if my gift or area of influence is buried, how can I find it, Sharon? Well, I encourage you to look at your family, look at what they're good at, look at what you are naturally good at, because somewhere, somehow, what was in their DNA that made them influential or good at some specific area, I more than likely it's in your DNA as well. Don't forget, apples comes from apples. So if your family just seem to be naturally good at something, why not explore that area? Maybe you could be naturally good at that as well. Look at yourself. Look at the things you like. Again, what you naturally like, you'll be naturally good at if you pursue and refine it. So don't think about going and finding new things to be naturally good at. What you are meant to do to impact and influence this world, it's already deposited in you. Your objective now is to identify and refine those natural skills and abilities in you in order to accomplish your purpose and impact and influence the world. Your influence, again, is tied to your natural dreams and aspirations. I cannot stress that enough because some people believe that in order to be influential and impact the world, that they must go and learn some difficult thing. No, it's naturally in you. Your influence will come from those things you enjoy doing naturally. Because why would you want to do something you hate doing, or it's so difficult you become frustrated every time? Don't get me wrong, there's some things you may become frustrated with, but you have such a deep desire to do it that you don't mind spending the extra time learning and growing. That was me in learning to speak. You remember my story. I stuttered so badly I couldn't say my name is Sharon. And I stuttered so badly that I couldn't enunciate S's, and I couldn't enunciate W's. And every important question, who, what, when, where, why, is with a W, and my name began with S, for crying out loud. But I was so passionate about learning to speak that although it felt difficult at the time, I naturally wanted to learn and be better. So that's why, although it was challenging, I did it because I naturally wanted to do it. So think about those things you naturally want to do, and know that your area of influence is something, it lays somewhere right within those things you enjoy doing. Again, I've shared my story with you, moving from not being able to speak to having a speech impairment, to now being a speech coach, to being an influential speaker, trainer, coach, and business leader. I've managed the operations of over 500 people in a very busy, world renowned company on Wall Street. It was challenging, but not difficult. Why? Because my passion for people came during those times when I was being teased and bullied. I just wanted to have friends. And as I grow up now, I realize, wow, that was somehow in my DNA. Despite all the bullying I went through, I somehow had that natural thing in me to want to help people, to want to do better, to want to make things better. And that and yeah, and love people. That's where my love for people comes from, because I was unloved. I felt unloved at that time. I felt like broken, like a nobody. But now I have such a passionate love for people. No matter where you are, no matter what you've done, there is a love in me for you that I cannot even express or explain myself. But I'm telling you that if you have that type of passion in you, go after it, because maybe your gift, your talent, your area of influence is wrapped up right in there. How did I know? How did I know when I was being bullied that I would be an executive one day managing this major place on Wall Street? Well, I didn't know, but I had an inkling. I knew that I wanted more for me. And what I did was I worked one summer, earned about $2,000. And that was a lot of money. And I worked on a construction site. I was a water carrier. So when I worked there, I saved almost every dime I earned. And at 17, to save money rather than going shopping was really, I had to be really disciplined. And then what I did was I took that money and invested in myself. I registered for a Dale Carnegie course in human relations and effective speaking. Now, I couldn't speak. So the only thing that interested me about that Dale Carnegie course was the effective speaking part, because I knew I wanted to be able to speak and get along better with people. I couldn't care less about the human relations part, but I realized as I improved my speech, I also improved my human relations skills, which helped to solidify my love for people, getting to understand them better, and allowed me the ability to manage the operations of, as I mentioned, over 500 people on Wall Street. My story of being bullied and the challenges of my life led to my heart of love and compassion. Whatever challenges you are going through, you can allow them to lead you to your full purpose as well. It They are the things that can bring you influence and affluence eventually. Today, my ability to continue influencing this world is all tied up or buried in the challenges I will face going forward and the challenges I overcome. So it's more than just facing the challenges. You can't just hide from them and expect to overcome them. You've got to go through them. You've got to deal with them. So my success in the future would be based on my ability to deal with challenges that are coming my way as I go forward. Don't forget that everything in our life, our challenges and triumphs, our happy times and sad moments, are lessons designed to position and prepare us for our true purpose of influence and dominion. Now, the third thing I'm sharing with you this evening as to why we don't influence is because we don't believe in who and whose we are. We don't believe or we don't know our identity. And that's so critical. If an apple seed knows that it has to produce an apple, only an apple will come from it. This doesn't have a mind of its own. It will only do what it was created to do. We were so fortunate that we have a mind of our own, but we need to now determine, are we going to become who we were created to become, or are we just going to live life and without any real purpose? Only our Creator knows why and the purpose in which He created us for. I'll repeat that. Only the creator of something knows the explicit purpose as to why it was created. This is a pen. I got this at ALCC in New York in 2015. And I never opened it until recently. And it's just so cool because the bottom part here is a light, if you see that. And it's a pen. So it writes as a pen, a normal pen, but it has a double function. We can also have a double function in the sense that we could be doing one thing that we love and naturally do well, and we can do another thing that we really enjoy doing or also naturally good at. So your purpose may not necessarily be tied up in only one single specific thing. Although many times in life we are told, especially in school, you can't be good at everything, and we understand that, but you don't it's not that you can only be good at one thing. So be mindful of that. You have the ability to do 2 to 4 things, I believe it's 4 or 5 things at one time and do it well. So not at the same time, obviously, but we are multi-talented and we are gifted in several areas. So if you find yourself being really good at a couple different things, don't just feel like you have to pursue just one area, but pursue those things that you enjoy doing, and eventually your influence will come from one area or another. I feel like if I'm living a first class influential lifestyle, not necessarily because of financial wealth, but because of purposeful wealth. True influence comes with and through understanding our purpose. Again, through real influence comes when we truly understand and live in our purpose. Your purpose was established by your creator. I can't stop saying that. And influence and affluence will come to you when you accomplish or begin to accomplish your creator's purpose. It's not through people, it's not through money. This program was inspired today, actually, by my mentor and spiritual father, Dr. Festus Adeyeye, as of ALCC Worldwide, as he was talking about a message series on uh, living a first class lifestyle. If you want to live a first class lifestyle, you need to be able to influence the world around you. You need to be able to walk purposefully in your purpose, whatever that is. And your purpose, again, it's something that's in you, it's natural, and it's not something you have to go find someplace. So remember that. As I close out, I'd just like to say a brief prayer for you. Right now, Father, we thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to live and influence the world with our purpose. We thank you for helping us to know whose we are and who we are because of whose we are. Help us, oh God, to understand that our purpose comes from understanding and living our purpose and living with character, integrity, and a good attitude. It comes from knowing that our mind is our most valuable asset and that investing in ourselves is our greatest investment. We thank you for helping us, oh God, as we walk through this life purposefully, and we ask these things in Jesus' name. Next week, Sunday, I will conclude this program on Made for Influence as I celebrate 1 year of broadcasting to you. So I'm really excited. This week, I hope you walk forward purposefully and do great things because you were meant and made to influence not just your family, but everywhere you go with your purpose, the thing that you were created to do or be or become. Blessings for an amazing week. This is Breakthrough Tips, Tools, and Insights for Life. And I'm your host, Sharon Joseph.